Welcome back to another library haul. So typically when I get my hauls of books from the library, they are witchy books. However, this time they are not, so if you're here mostly just for my witchy content, that's fine. This probably, like, I got one. The rest are all fiction, but I'm trying to read more fiction before the end of the year, and these are just some fun titles. There's a few like Halloween spooky ones, and one that my husband demanded that I read because he went through it and he wants me to go through it as well. So anyways, just a little preface. Normally I would put this on my other channel, but I feel like library hauls just live over here. So anyways, let's get into the books. So this first one is a book that just came out, and I've been watching the author. I follow her on Instagram, and her books are so fun from the titles. I don't know if they're good or not, or if there's something I'm going to enjoy, but the titles alone make me want them. And the covers are gorgeous too. So we got this. This is a fiction one. I don't know if I need to read these in order. My bad. I feel like I had researched them and it said you didn't have to. And also my library does not have her books in stock. So like that's fun. They're only like the more recent titles. So if I end up liking this, I might think about going and buying her older ones, because they are like the mass-produced like paperbacks, so they're not terribly expensive. But anyways, so this is A Bake Shop Mystery. This is popular. It's brand new, and it's already got some lovely wear and tear from the library. And there was a huge hold the second this became available, and it took a while to get. So anyways, this is Catch Me If You Candy by Ellie Alexander, Double, Double, Toil, and Truffle. Like, the puns of this author, I have a feeling I'm going to love these books. Just to give you some context of other books by this author. Meet your baker, a batter of life and death, on thin icing, caught bread-handed, fudge and jury, a crime of passion fruit, another one bites the crust, till death do us tart, live and let pie, a cup of holiday fear, nothing bunt trouble, chilled to the cone, mocha she wrote, bake, borrow, and steal, donut, disturb, muffin, but the truth. Do those titles not make you want to just go buy it just to see? Because, like, first of all, the title, beautiful. The artwork, beautiful. And, like, if you can name your book that well, I trust in your ability to write a book. I don't know if that's not well-founded, but, like, I found her, like, recommended on Instagram at random. You know how, like, sometimes you hit that explore page just to see? And, like, she popped up, and I was like, I am so intrigued by these titles, and, like, the amount of, like, the theming in her posts is just so much fun, because a lot of times it goes with her theme of her books, and I hope I'm gonna love this. I don't know. I'm not, like, a huge fan, at least currently, of, like, a lot of, like, detective, murder, mystery, cozy, detective, whatever. Like, usually the cozy books are, like, the cozy, like, genre tends to be, like, this style, I think. It seems to be that when people say they want a cozy read, it's like detectives and murder mystery and all of these things. And so, like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but we shall see. It also starts off with Trick or Treat on the back, so how can we go wrong? So this next one, I can't show you the cover of, and I will explain why. So I requested this months ago. This is my only witchy book. And when I went to go get my collection of books that have been sitting on the shelves, so like, please pick up, I was like, okay, cool. Why is there a box? And I had the fear that I had somehow placed a request for like a CD audiobook. And I was almost like, I am not doing that. Maybe I just don't pick that up and let that just go back in the system. I can't do a lot of audiobooks. I get distracted. Just let me reorder it as the paper copy and I'll be fine. And then I looked closer and it's like, you need to speak to the librarian. And I looked at the title and I was like, I have been waiting for a long time for that one. Fine, why do I gotta talk to you? Because it was like a white brick of like this plastic brick that's like, talk to the librarian, and my name with the little paper they always give you, you know, attached. And I'm like, why why? What? I am so confused. So this book I have waited on, and apparently it had to come from outside of the library system. I'm like, cool, I knew which one I knew I had requested one from outside of the library system. And I'm like, great, they got it in. That was quick. The thing when you put in your request said it would take like 8 weeks. That was a lot faster than 8 weeks. Cool. Nope, it's this one. I can't show you the cover because they put all of my info on the back because, yep, it has to come from a different library. So this is Wicca Candle Magic by Lisa Chamberlain. Now, they have a paper taped on the front, and they have to explicitly tell you, do not remove this paper. You will mess up your life if you tear this off. So you have to leave it taped on there, and it's got all the stuffs. But apparently, they did not have this in the system, despite it saying that it was in the system. And so they had to get it from Denver. So this is fun. I never knew, I finally saw that it finally had some updates going on with it, and I was like, cool, maybe they finally got it back. But no, they just apparently were nice and put in my request to different libraries around the freaking country, and Denver was like, do you really want that book? Here you go. And then they shipped it, and so now I can read through it, and it has a different due date than all of my other books. It's a little bit later, but I also feel like it's a hard, return it this day. And it's a Lisa Chamberlain book. These books are this big. Not a big deal. But it was interesting, so that was fun. Back into the land of fiction, this is the one that hubby has read through and was like, you need to read this. So, Mistborn book 1. So, I don't know. The thing is, the people that in my life who have loved this book have typically been a very specific type of person, and they aren't the type of person that I personally like. And my husband has read the trilogy, and he's like, book 1 you need to read, don't read the rest. Just whatever fantasy you need to create to have the end happen, that's what happens. Just don't keep reading. Which instills so much confidence. He's told me about it, and I'm like, this doesn't sound interesting, but he wants me to read it. So, for the hubby, I am reading Mistborn. And it is the traditional small font, small book, paperback. So excited. And if you love that book, good for you. I have low hopes. So these next two, I'm in a lot of Halloween Facebook groups, obviously. And one of them is a Halloween book club kind of a thing. And they had talked about this one. Now, I have seen this. I was tempted. They had a little display right before we got married last year, and this was one of those, and I was like, oh, should I get it? Should I not? I don't know. And then wedding cost and getting fired from job kicked in, so I didn't get it. And now that I use the library, I was like, ooh, because they had made a post recently about this book, and they were like, I loved it. So I was like, all right. I can't remember how they described it, so we'll just read some of the back. This witty page turner puts a spell on me. Cackle, which is the title of this book, is a charming and very contemporary story about self-realization, a gal pal Addams family in the best way. So, I am super curious. I actually haven't read anything about it. It just says that it's a novel. It's good to be wicked. So, we'll see. But I wanted to get some spooky reads for the time of the year, so we got this one. And then the last book is from the same author, because I was looking through and I was like, what other books do they have? Do they have any others? And they do. So I got them both. So this one is a werewolf novel. Such Sharp Teeth. Obviously, I should have mentioned this. The author is Rachel Harrison, author of Cackle. So I'm assuming Cackle is the book, and then there's additional ones. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a good book. So far, she has, as of this book, there's 3. The Return, Cackle, and Such Sharp Teeth. This one came out in 22, so I assume I don't know if there's another one for this year or not. But yeah, I'm curious. I don't know. It's a werewolf book. It's Halloween time. Let's read it. So yeah, those are the books that I got from the library for this haul, minus the one witchy book. These are going to be talked about on my author channel. I'm trying to revive that, but also I have made the decision that I will pre-record a lot of videos, but I will not hit publish on said videos until the book that I'm talking about is out. I feel like that's a more realistic approach of things, and then I can also like promo it at the beginning of every video, because marketing. And so I am just going to be trying to post some other content over there whilst I'm writing my next book. And so spooky reads for the season feels appropriate. So I'm gonna try and get those starting in October probably. And yeah, if you want to watch those reviews, it'll be on my other channel. You can always find links to all of my stuff on my blog. You can find all of my content is there. I sometimes forget to post like video links, but the like static links of like where to find me is always available. But it's, I don't know if I've gotten the official thing of like youtube.com/ anymore yet, but it's Raven Wells with me. So it's pretty easy to find. But yeah, anyways, if you want to follow that account, that's for my author stuff and fiction books. But I wanted to just, I don't know, I just felt like posting over here. So anyways, I would love to hear if you've read any of these ones in the comments down below. And if not, what fiction book are you reading? Because you should read fiction and nonfiction simultaneously, obviously. So like, what one are you reading? I would love to know for the spooky season, or your favorite like Halloween book in the comments down below. My current still reigning fave of like Halloween spooky books is It by Stephen King. It is a massive book, but it's so good. It's so good. The ending's like super weird. Kind of the movie ending in some ways is better. Like, sometimes authors just go off on such tangents that you're like, but why? So like the ending's weird, but the rest of it is good. The way they handle the creature of It is like, it was good until the having to get, if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. It gets a little weird. But I mean, also it's Stephen King. He's just kind of a weird guy. So anyways, I would love to hear your Halloween book in the comments down below. As always, huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names over here. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Speaking of books, I have written my own if you want to check it out. I have a new one coming out soon. My like nonfiction related to the channel book is called The Death Journey. That is a practical guide to handling death as a witch. And then my new one is a fiction one that's coming out soon. My proof copies should be coming here tomorrow. And that is called Witch's Night. It's a fiction little story. It's just a casual little story, cozy, contemporary, about a girl who works at a bookshop in a town of witches. And they have an event called Witch's Night. And she also is trying to get to be one of the, if not the last student of the like crone of town that everyone's kind of like, like she's the outcast among witches, but she also wants to learn from her, and everyone kind of has to respect like the crone. I'm really good at marketing my books, obviously, but yeah, if you want to check it out, it'll be coming soon. As always, until next time, thank you for listening to my rambles, and I will see you all soon. Blessed be.